Hey, it's Mr. Johns. Welcome back to 3D Design, Sketchup for 3D Design, whatever I'm calling it. In the last few episodes, we have imported a floor plan, scaled it to the right size, built 6-inch outside walls, 4-inch inside walls, pulled them up 8 feet, and put in door and window openings, both inside and outside. And in the last episode, we were working on the kitchen, which I'm excited to show you. And I've made some changes since then. But I get to choose one downloaded thing, and honestly, the hardest thing is probably the toilet. If you want to, if you consider like the underside of the bowl, it's possible in SketchUp, but challenging. I'd like to avoid that, but it's not very visible. It's way in the back of the master bathroom, and the kitchen is quite a bit more visible. So I'm going to click on this fourth tool down here, the 3D warehouse, and I'm going to use a search for a kitchen faucet. Let's see if that's what I am thinking of. Yep, that's what I'm thinking of. And then my color scheme ended up being dark, which doesn't mean my faucet has to be dark, but I do like this one right here. And then I just click in the download button right here, and it will put it right in my design. And it's at the end of my mouse. So roll your mouse around to find it and then zoom in. It looks like it maybe is already the right size. So if I were to click once right in the middle, I think that's looking pretty good. However, you notice it is not facing the sink. So I'm going to choose, I think this might be the first time we've used this in this series, this tool, and it's the rotate tool. Well, that's right there. It was right there. So it's two red arrows chasing each other on a 2D plane right there. Rotate. And so what we want to do, what's super important here, is that you find a flat place on one of the sides. Now, we need to rotate it front to back, so we can't rotate it from the side. We have to be on the top. So this is kind of hard because the faucet is actually round. So I'm going to try to find the flattest part, which is pretty tough because it looks like there is no flat. I mean, right in the middle. I'm going to try this. I'm going to click once. I'm going to rotate my mouse until it's going 90 degrees. It doesn't really matter where I point it, but I'm going to try to go 90 degrees. Click, and then just rotate my mouse again. And it looks like, sure enough, that did not work because there is no flat. So is there any flat surface on this? I'm thinking maybe right there, but this thing might be the flattest thing right here, and that is the cross piece. I'm going to click once there, rotate 90 degrees, click again. I think that will do it. And I'll have to do some moving, but that did rotate it. Click again once you got it where you want it, angle-wise. And then I just want to go to the move tool, and I'm going to move that thing right here, middle. Maybe not quite, maybe a little closer to the sink. It probably is close to the sink. And let's just click out of it, click anywhere, and see how that looks. Since they can rotate, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Depends on how the last person left it. So here's my unveiling of my kitchen. And then I will show you furniture. That's this episode will be showing you my finished kitchen, how to import something from the 3D warehouse. By the way, if that faucet would have come in at the wrong size, all we have to do is go to the scale tool and shrink it down. Just click scale, those green dots, shrink it down. So shrink and rotate. So scale and rotate will put it where you want it. But luckily, since I built my cabin to scale, like full size, most of these objects in the 3D warehouse, especially designed by professionals, are already going to be the right size. So that is a bonus for sure. So let's go ahead and turn off X-ray mode. I want to show you my kitchen. Click off of the scale tool, off of everything. Last time you saw it, it did not look like this at all. I've made a few changes. I decided to go with a kind of a dark, kind of classy black and gray with some granite, dark granite countertops and sink. These were the cabinets, cupboards were painted wood, which I thought looked okay. But once I started playing with colors, I think it just looks really good. So yeah, everything here except for the faucet is Mr. John's created, which means you can make it too. You can do it too. So they're just shapes. Everything just a shape. So I decided not to do handles on the cupboards. So mine are those fancy push in and they just open automatically. That's what I'm saying. And then to close it, you just click. So I was not up for the challenge of making identical handles all the way across. Not necessary. I did, however, need handles for the refrigerator. So let me talk about the refrigerator. Just a rectangle. What I did is I used the offset tool to create another rectangle inside the rectangle, drew a line to show that there's a freezer up here, and then just made rectangles. Rectangle handles, that's it. I mean, you can't even really reach your fingers in there. They're just rectangles. The reason I painted them gray on the sides and black on the front was to show the 3D effect. If you paint them all black, you can't even tell that they're 3D. So I think that's a good look. Probably the thing that took the most time, still not difficult. I changed my mind on the stove. That what I was thinking was more like a washer and dryer, where this thing up here is angled more with knobs on them. I went and looked at my stove in the kitchen, and it's pretty much all electronic now. All this is digital. And then the stoves, mine are the kind that have the coils, but I know a lot of ovens are flat. Now these aren't either. Um, Technically, I should have kept them flat because that's how a lot of modern ovens are, but I wanted to give them a 3D effect. Anytime you can make something 3D in SketchUp, it just looks better. These are simply circles with smaller circles in them with a triangle attached and pulled out. Painted different colors, of course, you can see them. But those triangles, they're not perfect. Let me look at that. That one's wonky. But at a quick glance, they look like little knobs. They should all be pointing straight up, by the way, which is off. But I made them random, so that's not good. These stoves are on, so that's dangerous. And then the door here painted black with a handle. The sink, they match. Oh boy, that happens all the time. Small kitchen, so I ran out of room. The front of the cabinet here matches the color of the refrigerator. Oh, did it again. It's so small. I have to zoom in, zoom out. There we go. Also matches the cupboards up here. So, and then I had water in there. I thought that just looked tacky. Such a nice kitchen. People would not leave water in their dirty water in their sink. They would do their dishes and drain the sink and clean it out. So now it's just a hole in the bottom. And yeah, there's actually a hole down in there. I don't think it's even centered. I just made it. So I could have centered it. Best way to center it is just draw an X from corner to corner, and where they meet in the middle is the center. I was lazy. And then the faucet, which I couldn't have made. I mean, I could have. It would have taken a long time. But I think that is my one downloaded item. Over here, granite countertop with a dishwasher underneath. Again, I don't know if this looks realistic, but most dishwashers are, again, more digital these days, not dials. And so this is where you would open it up, put your dishes in, dial in whatever you wanted, hit go, and your dishes are washed. Oh, I did it again. So the struggle is real. The wall is painted a light gray, and this is tile from the paint category. And I think that just looks really cool. So that is my finished kitchen. And if you first think that's going to be, I can't make an oven. Just take it one step at a time. Make the rectangle, go from there. I made the circles on top. It looked better. And then just little steps at a time and do your best. Just do your best. That's it for now. Next time we'll tackle the bedroom and the dining room. For now, Mr. Johns is out.